So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the macro picture in Vietnam. If you consider all the indicators, we see that everything is in green, so that's no headwinds. But if you consider the ambitious target of 10% growth by the Vietnamese government, then I see some bottleneck which should be resolved to ensure this 10% growth for this year, 2026, and the coming year. So for myself, if I look at what the government did, they did pretty well. They pushed old reforms ahead to push Vietnam in the 2.0 Doi Moi level. But if you watch a bit critical on what is still to do, I see that the state-owned enterprise is still under the different ministry. This has to change. They should create a new vehicle. SCIC had to speed up to put all the state enterprises under one hut and manage it with one team to ensure first transparency and the prosperity of this company, and then in a later moment to bring it to the stock market. This is something which I expect this year, latest next year. But if we consider what are the drivers for the Vietnamese economy for 2026, it's clear we see the strong investment in infrastructure. That will be the main driver for the Vietnam economy. This will account roughly for 1 to 1.5% of GDP growth. We see the high-speed train railways project, 67 billion, the largest project we ever saw in Vietnam during the last decades. But also the harbor, the new airport should be ready. I think the second half of 2026, welcome 100 million people on the end by 2035. This is one part which ensures the driver from the GDP. The second one is the domestic consumption. During last year, we saw that the domestic consumption was behind the expectation. We see now that this regained the path of growth, which is important for the country. If you consider that the domestic consumption accounts for 55% of national GDP, that's a big driver. Also, the touristic sector, which are back. The tourists, they like to visit Vietnam, especially China, European, they explore and they visit the country. We are at all-time high, and this will also contribute to such a domestic consumption. So at the end, let's have a look for 2026, what we expect of this Vietnamese equity market. I'm still positive. Between we will have some bit pumpy time, but please buy the dips. I give you a reason why. If I look at our portfolio, our P is about 12 times with an earning growth ratio of 16 to 17. That's still not expensive in a market which has at least 8 to 10% growth expectation. And the other hand, I would remind you that most of the international investors, they didn't invest in emerging market or just a small part, a bit homeopathic. I strongly believe that we will see inflow in emerging market. Now, the question is in which area? East Europe, South America, Africa, or Asia. I strongly believe that in Asia we have more dynamic. The government are more active to help the economy to gain this power of growth. And this makes Vietnam very attractive. So Vietnam is and will remain a very important place to invest. Also, if you consider worldwide the disruptions, Vietnam has a very low correlation to other markets, and I strongly believe that during 2026 we will see also inflow of foreign investor. Diversify your portfolio and add Lumen Vietnam in your portfolio. Thank you.